Hey, Cedric Ada Gear and Outdoors here, reviewing the Eskabar neck knife from ESEE Eskabar. It's a neck knife, and I've been using it for what I think are its intended purposes, so a bit of light outdoors use, just a bit of testing in terms of strength and ability and things like that. I've put these aftermarket handle scales on. You get a pair, black ones and orange ones. I chose the orange for the high visness of it because, as you see, the knife's got this baked on black coating, and the sheath's rather dark as well. So I thought it makes a bit more eye-catching little tool. So it's a 1095 steel knife, which is carbon steel, so it will rust. It is covered in this coating to stop the body of the knife from rusting, but that edge does need to be maintained, or yeah, it will rust. Full tang, of course, because it's a one-piece neck knife, and the back of the knife is not sharp enough to strike a fire steel. You would have to grind off some of this this coating to do that. The blade is cutting edge of 3 inches, and the rest of the knife is another 4 inches, so 7 inches in total. And the weight of the knife is about 210 grams. With the sheath, it's about 245. So it's a fairly little, it's definitely a noticeable little neck knife to have dancing around your chest there. Purpose of neck knives, well, that's debatable. They're sort of marketed as, you know, the outdoorsman's pocket knife sort of thing, like a more robust alternative to carrying your folding pocket knife. Keep it around your neck, so you know it's always there. If you lose your whole kit, you can, you know, keep your neck knife and use this to rebuild society, whatever. Of course, for regular people like you and me who aren't going on, you know, week-long expeditions, yeah, I can't really see a completely practical use for them. They will do the tasks, but if you're going on any type of planned excursion, you're going to bring other knives that will do the tasks better. I think it's probably a good knife for someone who, I mean, some people go on bushwalking and don't even bring any knife, like they might bring their cutlery knife, and it's probably a good knife to get someone who you know isn't into knives, wouldn't carry a couple different ones, who you thought, oh, it'd be nice to send them off at least something to, you know, use as a blade. So it might be good for someone who's actually not too knifey at all. However, then the obstacle you'll meet is that it's a neck knife, and it's a little bit of a weird thing. Like, I said to my wife when I ordered it, she said, oh, what do you need that knife for? I said, oh, that's a neck knife. Or see if that sort of fits in with my kit at all. And she said, what the hell is a neck knife? And I'm like, well, it's a knife that hangs around your neck. And she sort of rolled her eyes, and you know, and I can understand that completely. It's a bit of a tactical, or like something a bit cheesy about it, if you ask me. Anyway, so for me personally, my survival knife and whatever pocket knife I'm carrying will do the trick for me just fine. I prefer to have my knives on a sheath. Flipping around my neck is a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating. When would it be a good thing to have over this? Perhaps if you're in a boat or something, in a kayak, can't access your sheath, might be an idea, might be good. But then, if that's the situation, most sheaths you can just lash at the bottom and hang upside down as neck knives anyway, just for that one trip. So, for me in Australia, where I'll be brutally honest, I love my knives, but I don't think we really need to use them as much as our friends overseas. Probably not the most important bit of kit. Probably not even in the top 20 things that I'd recommend you getting if you're going on an adventure. Neck knife, that is. Get a fixed blade knife, that'd be somewhere in the top 5 or 10, for sure. But yeah, just if you're going sort of out adventuring, there's probably some other priorities you need to sort of address first before you start getting what essentially is just a fun item there. I took it out and did some testing with it, so I'll run that clip now. Ta. So as you saw, I did a bit of battening through wood and a little bit of carving as well, and yeah, I found that it's sort of a little bit of a frustrating knife to use. It's just a little bit too small to do anything heavy, and it's definitely too light to do any sort of chopping. Like you notice there's a bit of difficulty when this is quite sharp still, a little bit of difficulty trying to just knock those branches off, ended up having to snap them. It did batten through fine. It's the flat grind and the thick spine will do the job, and it carved okay, but again, the convex or the Scandi grinds are so much better than these flat and then angled grinds. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not 100% sold on just the concept of neck knives altogether. For someone who is perhaps working on a big station, or a like a farmer type person who's outdoors a lot, who needs something that they doesn't want to put their trust in a hinged knife of any sort, I reckon this would be a good little choice for everyday carry. But for me, who's just your standard weekend adventurer when I can be, as cool as it is to have, and that does count a fair bit towards a purchase for me. Having something cool is that gets us halfway there, but really probably won't use this a great deal. So I might gift it on, or just keep it in my drawer and play with it from time to time. Put it in my car as an emergency knife, probably a good idea. Just in the car backpack with all the kids' nappies and multi-tool and stuff. So yeah, very much an unessential item in my humble opinion. Well made, had no issues with the fit and finish, edge came razor sharp, just not particularly practical for me personally in my country, where, yeah, as I said, I think before, whether it was the take I've ended up using or not, we just don't use that much knife stuff when we're even out on our bushwalks. We don't really need a great deal for firecraft because we can usually just use what we find because it's a very dry country. And also our camping doesn't necessarily revolve around fire as much either, because up until winter you can excuse me, up until winter you can generally get by without a fire at all if you want. At any rate, those are my thoughts on the Eskabar neck knife. Thank you very much for watching. Bye now.